motivate you to get your hustle on. We're looking for young entrepreneurs, and we're always looking for ideas through our social media platforms. FYI, Trendsetters is now on YouTube as Trendsetters Kenya. Look out for some of the amazing features that we have had and posted up on our YouTube channel. And of course, like, subscribe, we would be most appreciative. Kamakawa Kamake at K24 TV is how you can reach us across those platforms: Instagram, Facebook, X. Our WhatsApp number scrolling at the bottom of your screen. And this week we have something fresh for you because we're getting into agriculture. In fact, we're talking about urban farming solutions, and my guest today has made a name for himself in the field of hydroponics, an innovative way of farming that replaces soil with nutrient-rich water solution. So, what does this mean? It is a game changer for small spaces. Please welcome to the show Daniel Wanderi. He is the CEO of Eco Hydroponic Garden. Daniel, welcome. Karibu. I hear this is not your first time on K24. Our agriculture show did a feature on you recently.
Absolutely. Actually, let me generally the Media Max. It was the first media house to believe in this vision and to believe in this idea.
Wow.
And I was featured on one of the stations, that is Kameme TV. And then again,
yes,
2022, I mean 2023 in May, about climate smart agriculture. So I am grateful for the support, and I appreciate the partnership we have.
Fantastic.
Yes.
So you had fun with Linda Kosgei.
Oh, yes.
On field, you had a great time with Gitao from Kameme FM and the likes.
Yes.
Okay, Karibu Sana, now you're here on Breakfast on K24, so welcome, welcome. Something else to also mention about Wanderi is that he is the former National Youth Ambassador for Environmental Conservation under the Ministry of Youth Affairs. Tell us how, by the way, you managed to jump into that docket and then now jump into this biashara before we actually get talking about hydroponics.
First, let me say necessity pushes you to be innovative, to create opportunities for yourself. I didn't start here. My background is completely different from what I'm doing currently. Okay. I started off, I was in robotics, education technology, dealing with and also cybersecurity, dealing with integrating education, STEM education. Wow. However, along the way, I saw gaps in between. COVID came, schools are shut, you got a whole year with yourself. Then you got to ask yourself, I mean, what am I doing? I was working for an hour, and then I got another 11 hours. So I got thinking, there are so many things that challenged me. First, the food systems were crashed, all interrupted in a very big way, the lockdowns and all that. And I got thinking, how about urban communities? Before the food comes from Nyandaro, all the way, and then we have a barrier at Limuru because of the lockdown. What if something else build a disease comes? So we have to build a capacity of urban communities to be able to produce their own food. And I piloted and I came up with an idea. I went on YouTube, saw how in countries like Singapore, Malaysia, they're doing farming on malls, on rooftops, big farms. So I went searching around in Kenya and seeing where can I get this. But visiting various organizations, I was not very satisfied. And this pushed me to even think beyond, to be innovative and create a solution, test it, and see whether it works. That is how I made my first tower garden. Oh, really? Yes, and on my balcony, actually. Really?
So what we are looking at here on set, this is a tower garden.
This is what you call a tower garden. This is actually a mini tower garden.
It's a oh yes, because they actually go all the way to the ceiling.
All the way to 10 feet.
Oh wow. Yes. Okay, so now we have a mini
This is a mini tower garden. And this gives you, this is putting in mind the dynamics of urban communities. Because ideally, Nairobi has over 5.5 million people. I mean, we can't be net consumers of food.
So, I mean, just trying to actually understand what you offer. Let's understand now from the business perspective, those urban farming solutions, okay, we can see one that's right here in front of us, but what else is, you know, on the platter? Let me call it that.
This is a big industry. This is a huge industry, because normally there's a perspective aspect. We see these things are done in Europe. Even if you go on YouTube, they are mostly Western technologies. And then here we are stuck with the traditional ways of doing things. So from that, we got to ask ourselves, what can we do better? How can we change the way we do our things? There's the issue of climate change also. Climate change is causing populations to be displaced. And you may ask, how can we do to mitigate such? If you have food and you're facing a drought or extreme floods, it means with food, even the community has not shattered by those effects. So eventually, I tested these kind of systems to see how do they come in, considering the dynamic lifestyles of the urban communities. Yes.
So I saw somewhere, you know, from your profile, okay, you have commercial hydroponics, rooftop farming, vertical gardening, balcony farming, hanging gardens, and of course what we have here, which is the tower garden. So just very quickly giving, you know, a description of each, because we would like to actually know, okay, what's the hanging garden?
In those categories, looking at urban communities, their way of life, the spaces available to them, number one, the biggest challenge is access to land to do the farming. Then you got to ask yourself, what else? Where else can they do farming? Vertical, we go vertical. We start with a balcony. There are thousands and millions living on apartments. You have a 1 bedroom, a bed sitter somewhere on 50th floor. You got 1 meter by 3 meters. The question, could you do something? This only needs 1 square meters. And you got your vegetables, you got your food there.
You're good to go.
Safely. Then you may have a space on a wall. You have a perimeter wall. Say you build a house, you have a 50 by 100, you build your bungalow or mansion. The space remaining cannot do much in terms of agriculture. So you come and convert that perimeter wall into another garden. Others have rooftops. You are building a house, you left a good balcony, I mean rooftop there, or maybe it's a tall building, but it is incomplete. You still have that space. That is a resource.
Fantastic. I love it.
In city spaces is quite a big resource. So we develop rooftop gardens and then backyard gardens, for example. You have your parking, you have some 3-4 meters around. What could you do with it? We customize those gardens depending on your space. So fitting those spaces. That is how we came with balcony gardens, hanging gardens, wall gardens, spiral gardens, and many other that we are about to launch.
These may sound like very basic questions because, you know, it's almost like we're being lazy, either as viewers or even me as the host, trying to understand, okay, what's hydroponics? We can Google it, but I think it comes better, well described from someone who's practicing it. So just explain how this system works in the most simplest of ways. Tell us how this is even working. Like, okay, what's happening here?
Hydroponics is simply soilless farming.
Soilless farming.
Soilless farming. You farm without using soil. The question is, what are you going to use if not a soil? If not soil, means a growing media. We have several growing medias. Like we have cocoa peat, we have peat moss, we have pumice stones, like the ones we are using here. Like on this tower garden, we fill the pumice rocks. These are a variety of volcanic rock that is very porous. The pH level is neutral. So it is able to allow oxygen, aeration, hold some water, creating an aquatic environment for the plants to thrive.
You know, women only know it because we use it in the shower, right? To scrub our feet.
Yes.
That's why we know what pumice stones
are. It is the same thing.
It's the same thing, but broken down. Okay, ladies, this is what you have in your bathroom, FYI, or at the salon. This is what they use to scrub your feet. Okay, and I didn't know it had such good properties about it.
It is scientifically proven to be a good media for growing crops.
Right.
So, and actually Kenya has a huge resource in terms of this group. Unfortunately, information gap, we don't have that much knowledge. So basically on this tower, like in such a tower, we put the growing media inside.
Right.
That's the pumice stones in pebbles. And then we run a drip system on top of it.
Right.
Such that the nutrients are in the water.
Okay.
They are water soluble. They are mixed in the water soluble, and then they come to the tower garden. They seep all through to the last hole. You don't need anything else.
Wow.
That's enough for the plants to grow.
That is amazing.
Yes.
And when you look at the advantages of it versus what we know traditionally,
conventional farming,
conventional farming, cost-wise, in terms of availability, because not all types of soil are good for farming.
True.
So what are you know, when you think about what you've saved, adopting hydroponics
is actually under climate smart agriculture, a subset called climate smart agriculture. The reason of going soilless is this: we are overcoming several challenges. Number one, you remove 100% of soil-borne diseases, which you could have would have pushed you to use agrochemicals. We are moving from using agrochemicals or synthetic or chemicals to organic. Now you reduce the chances of you using chemicals to control pest, diseases. So with the growing media, there's no soil. All soil-borne diseases are completely removed.
Wow.
Going soil-less also, going vertical also means you will get up to 10 times even more than you would do. Like here we have around 24 plants. If you had to plant within the same space, would it fit 24 plants? No. It means you are getting more within the same space, giving the urban communities the solution because of the fact that they don't have too much access to agricultural land. Number two is the cost of production. You see, agriculture, in agribusiness, the cost of production is the in thing.
It is,
You are in agriculture to make business, to make money, as a business. So if you're able to bring down your cost of production, you increase your revenue, increasing productivity in agriculture or in agribusiness. You'll never have a budget for weeding.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That's cost.
Right.
That's cost.
Yeah.
In terms of water consumption, it uses up to 80% less water compared to conventional farming. By the time you do this on the soil or you run a drip system, two ways you lose water: infiltration, evaporation. These are an enclosed system. So we do what is called precision feeding.
And it's direct to where you want it.
And to where you want it, and to precisioning it in terms of nutrient levels, like that.
All that is controlled.
All that is controlled. Time. You are a journalist. You need a kitchen garden. You still take your dinner in the evening. Facts. So what you do with your
makeup,
makeup, your heels, your nails, and all that. What you need to do with such. You don't soil yourself. You don't need gumboots or an overall like
I know. I need to be harvesting my spinach with scissors.
So you'll just come, just open your drips for just 5 minutes before you sleep. Sorted. And you got your veggies.
That's true.
Assume you have things like salad. You eat fresh. Fresh. Lettuce, for example. Is it lettuce or lettuce, whatever? My English teacher is...
Depending on which school.
Nandaro is very far. So... You just pluck your leaf of your lettuce hapa, you put it your sandwich on your breakfast, fresh, organic.
And you can brag about your garden.
Safety first. You may have the money to buy in groceries, supermarkets. However, do you have what is called traceability of all the chemicals, all fertilizers that have been? You don't.
And that's such a good point. You know, the world has shifted to, going organic. Everything organic now is what's selling, But one of the big questions that even nutritionists are asking is, even if it is organic, can you trace where that food has come from? You're just, getting stuff from Mama Mboga, and we believe by the way Mama Mboga stuff is more fresh, even if you went here to Ngara, but does the woman who's selling you that stuff know where the vegetables and how they were grown?
She went to Marikiti. took her stock, took to the kibanda,
right.
you came there, probably.
Yes.
There are so many stories we have seen. Where
crazy stories. People
are growing, people are just greedy to make money,
right.
are using sewage,
right.
chemicals,
human waste,
all manner of things.
Yes.
But with this kind of farming, even if you are limited,
yes.
you are on an apartment, we understand the urban lifestyle, but there are ways to accommodate you. Hence, going this way.
And I mean, okay, this has nothing to do with the conversation, but I'm just thinking about the human waste that was passing through the shamba I saw in Lakisama. And don't ask me why those vegetables are this big. Like when you talk about leafy vegetables, that leaf was this big. Done. So I'm like, wow, human poop is very nutritious. But I mean, it's just the idea of it. It's terrifying knowing that there are some farmers who don't have such practices. So it's good to know where your food is coming from.
And you see that contamination moves to the value chain. The effect is lifestyle diseases, cancers, tumors, I don't know what.
Yes.
But diet, it all comes back to lifestyle.
It is.
It is quite a huge social issue, not just a social issue. It becomes an economic issue because when you have several people sick with lifestyle diseases, their productivity is low. The economic development is affected.
Absolutely.
So yeah, the net effect is quite negative.
And how did you feel about this whole fertilizer saga when you saw it and you're just like, what if we could only adopt different ways of farming?
I almost cried on my bed because you see, there are people with options, the others with limited options.
Right.
You see, so it's very scary how we as human beings could go to just make money without care, and this is messing up a whole generation.
Correct.
For example, if we mess a whole season, it means in the next couple of months, despite the flooding or the rains, we will still have a food security issue. We are now again running issue, famine, hunger, what and all that.
Right.
So it's quite complicated. It's very discouraging, let me say. It's very discouraging.
Well, we just want to remind our viewers that, by the way, you can throw in your questions by DMing me as Shiko Kaittany on my socials. Also through our platforms, K24 TV on Instagram, Facebook, as well as X. I did tease this particular discussion on socials, so I'll be throwing some questions to you from some guys on Instagram. I think we had one from Twitter, or X rather. So we'll get to that in just a few. But speaking about the towers, for example, right? Something like this, can it accommodate more than one crop?
Yes, absolutely.
I can grow, I don't know. Actually, first of all, what is this? This is skuma.
This is skuma and spinach.
Okay, so you've got two of them.
Yes. And then we got purple cabbage here. And then we got more skuma there.
So does it mean that you have to classify them?
You don't have to classify. Vegetables, feeding patterns of all vegetables are almost the same.
Okay.
You mix up to 6 varieties.
Oh, wow.
1 tower gardens of 5 feet tall comes inclusive of seedlings of your choice. You mix up to 6 varieties. You may have spring onions here. You may have kales, spinach, some lettuce, some strawberry, whatever. You mix because the feeding program is almost the same.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Fantastic. I love it. Okay. Now we've talked about, of course, how the thing works.
Yes.
I think there are kind of restrictions, I don't know, you can correct me if I'm wrong, in terms of what edibles can grow using hydroponics. Are we limited, or are you talking about anything under the sun? I mean, if you want to grow a dragon fruit, it will grow here. If you want to put apples, it's going to grow here. If you want to put spinach here, it will grow. So what are some of the things that you say, oh, no, that is not recommended for this type of vegetable
this type of farming is good for vegetables
only. Okay.
Yes, vegetables value chain, because we go, and some fruits, these small fruits like strawberries, berries, like fruit trees can do, because one, the spacing, like pipes use 4 inches pipes, and this is 6 inches pipes to make towers. So it means any crop that has a taproot, we cannot be able to do it. Not that it can't grow hydroponically, we are just limited by the materials that we use. But if you had a huge container and you plant a mango tree there,
or a lemon tree, it will actually grow.
It will still grow. As long as you feed it, you provide the right nutrients. The issue is not growing hydroponically, but in terms of now the solutions themselves, which varieties of crops you could do. Very good for vegetables.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And also, we do have 7 minutes to go. I understand that from my director for the first half. But another question also in regards to how to care for, let's say, now your tower or whatever, you got your vertical garden. Yes. I'm sure there's some etiquette, you know, etiquette practices or rules around it. So how do you care for your balcony garden, for example? Because someone can have this at home and then thinking, okay, so then now do I have to keep calling Daniel to come fix it?
No, actually it's a very, what we do is usually capacity building.
Yes.
Such that you are independent and then we integrate with whatever else you have in your farm. Say you have some chicken, you got some dairy farm, you got anything else. Yes. We integrate it with the with hydroponics. Management is very easy.
Right.
And this, back to our earlier point, this is considering the lifestyle of the urban communities.
Right.
Shiko, you don't have an hour every day, 30 minutes to go and take care of your kitchen garden. Fact, you can't do it.
That's true,
even as much you would love to do it, you can't. Now, management is very easy. It comes inclusive of a drip system.
Yes.
First is to ensure there is water flowing through the system. And it comes with a tank such that you can refill a tank probably once a month, once a week, depending on the size of the tank. In terms of scouting, just scout for pests if they are pests. However, in terms of pests, it's not much of a challenge because vertical, you remove much of access of pests from the soil, from the ground. So management is very, 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 very easy.
Right.
Very easy as long as you have that information. And the first thing we do is once we install a tower garden to your place, we are with you until you make your first harvest.
Right.
Then you can say, you no longer need, I no longer need you. I feel now I can walk on my own. So
there's a colleague here who's just messaged me and told me, na kama una maji, tutafanya nini?
Maji lazima ikue. Kama unaoga kuna maji. Kama unaoga, there's no way you can. This thing consumes 1 tower garden of 48 grow holes, double this size. Consumes between 1 liter and 2 liters a day. You can't tell me there's no water. Yes. If you had same 48 grow holes, 48 plants planted on the ground, you'll probably need 20 liters a day or more than that.
Yes.
So you cannot miss 2 liters max a day to manage your. You just ensure the bucket you're using to shower. Just deduct 1 liter and use for your kitchen garden. It's simply saying uses up to 80% less water compared to conventional farming.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Okay. So if this you cannot manage this, it means we're in agriculture.
Kuna vile. All right, we'll be talking about you know, ways in which we can do more to encourage, especially the youth, to kind of pick this up. But as we get to that commercial break, I think this is also interesting to bring up the fact that things have changed within households. People are more woke to beautifying their spaces and creating kind of very comfort zones for themselves. And that goes towards having house plants, for example. Whether they are there to either give some sort of benefit to, you know, to you as an individual, because there are some that have apparently healing properties, or they're just there to make your apartment look good. Can hydroponics be a solution to having, you know, house plants, for example?
It's called ornamental garden.
Ornamental, yes.
We actually about to launch a department in that case, because let us use these towers. Now, in your head, remove the vegetables. You have a very good environment, a very good compound. And you want to do, instead of doing bougainvillea along the path, why don't you do mini towers, these sizes or shorter, and you put either berries, some flowers or something. So the answer is yes. And also indoor plants.
Indoor plants,
ornamental. And even as you look at the tower, even without flowers or anything else, itself, it is achieving two things, food production and an aesthetic value.
Isn't it?
Yes, because it is customized to the color of, say, you are coming to your compound.
Yeah.
Your color theme is green.
Yes.
You can choose the green to be to align with the color theme of your compound.
Oh, that's amazing.
So it becomes an ornamental garden built just food production. Yes.
We're talking more about the benefits of this type of urban farming solution. I think we are already loving the idea of hydroponics. It almost makes you want to go home and start thinking, what changes do I need to make in this house? But by the way, keep talking to us through our social media platforms. We want to take that short commercial break. We'll see you in just a bit.